I heard it's big bags on big bags on big bags coming, coming in. Yeah, flex. I just wanna win.
Radio morning routine. We out here. Got my man Bahiri. We're here. This is this interview that's been getting set up for a little bit now. Not in the studio space yet. So, we're doing this on Zoom again. I had a little rant about, doing Zoom interviews. I'm starting to hate it now, but you got to make it work. How you doing today, my man? How's it going, bro?
Just chilling, man. Just maintaining, relaxing. How about you?
Chilling, bro. Just living life, man.
Yes, sir.
So you got a new track out, new visual. I was watching it, last night and again before. It's called Bol Bol. So
yeah.
I mean, if we want for basketball fans out there, we know who Bol Bol is. Plays for son of Manute Bol. What was going on behind that you named the song that? Is that?
So it's a line in the song where I'm like, Bol Bol, Brody came through with the arms too. And so like it right when I was writing to the beat, I saw like highlights on Instagram or whatever from him shooting. Because he's a center, right?
Yeah, he's a center.
Or he like a so but he's a shooter too. So I'm like, I bet. It's some inspiration in that. So he got long arms. So I'm like, Bol Bol, Brody came through with the arms too. So like it's a double entendre. Like I'm saying like my man's a shooter, but he got like long arms too, like Bol Bol. But I'm not talking about the ones you shoot basketballs.
I love it. I love it when a rapper can just make you think about a lit. That's dope. That's lit.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so you're from Orange County, right?
Well, I'm from Rochester, New York originally. That's like upstate, right by Toronto, by Buffalo. But I moved here like a while ago, and I just been embracing like everything here and stuff. So,
okay, what part of Orange County you staying in right now?
By Brea, but like right by like Fullerton too. Like it's the burbs, honestly. But yeah. I've honestly explored this whole region the last few months, and it's like the back of my hand, honestly. Now, like,
okay,
for real. Yep.
So explain the move from Rochester, that's upstate New York.
Yep.
To come into Southern California. Were there any expectations that you had from watching California on TV? Like, were you surprised? Were you disappointed in some things? Did this how'd that work for you?
So I kind of did expect it to be like how you see on TV. And I guess where I stay at, it kind of is like that, where like it's a lot of uppity white folks and stuff like that, and a lot of bouginess going on. But then I might go to like Pomona or somewhere, or like like where it's like it get crazier somewhere. I don't know. I don't really know all the hoods yet. So I'll go somewhere like that and I'll be like, oh, this kind of looks similar to like how it look in Rochester a little bit, or you know what I mean? I could like get a vibe for it. I wasn't really expecting too much other than just good weather, and I've been getting decent weather, so I'm okay with that.
Well, I mean, you're from New York, so y'all definition of cold is different from ours. But it's been pretty fucking cold out here.
It's been cold, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, damn, am I in Rochester? Step out one day, it's windy as hell.
Yeah, bro. Like it's been a little nuts out here weather-wise, but Southern California, land where dreams are made of, well, supposedly, but coming up in Rochester though, getting into music and the hip hop, what got you in to wanting to be a rapper?
The first influence, I would say, like my dad, because my dad was a rapper, and so I would be in the room with him, like being young. He'll be writing his raps, playing his instrumentals mad loud, and I guess just from being around all of that, I just started to pick it up naturally. And I used to be like wishy-washy about rapping, like I'll want to be a rapper, then I won't rap. When I was like 9. Though he took me to a studio, my first studio. It sounded good. After that, I really didn't make any more music until I was like 12. Then after 12, I started making beats, producing, getting my name out there and talking to other people that I could talk to. And like from there, I just kind of kept trying to level up the writing skills and the networking, the branding, and the marketing, and like how I carry myself in the public eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was looking at your Instagram, like you definitely have a certain like mystique about your art, and you definitely take your art seriously. So that's how I knew you weren't born or from Orange County, because a lot of Orange County artists, I mean, I'm just calling how I see it, really take how they carry themselves or take their art seriously like that. There's some, but not all. And you definitely like present yourself in a professional, like I really want this type of manner. And your music backs it up.
Thank you.
Even like the music you sent me, the music I heard on my own, is dope. And I kind of get the like Griselda, Pusha T type vibe from you.
Yep, I hear that.
By like the crazy like song titles, you know, the the bars you got, like, you know, some of your songs. Is that, well, I mean, you know, Griselda, like those dudes are from Buffalo, so what did you like listen to a lot of their stuff? Like growing up?
So like I've only known about Griselda for about like 4 or 5 years. I've really been bumping them like for that same amount of time. And so like I used to rap over like trap beats and stuff like that. Like, cause honestly, like even to this day, one of my favorite rappers is Lil Uzi. So I used to kind of try and emulate his style and shit. Then 5 years ago, I started getting more into Griselda, and then I started getting back to like my roots of like lyrical hip hop. And so I was like, started studying that shit, like the beats, the song titles, the art, everything, you know? And then I was like, well, how can I be myself in like this type of lane? And so I started just using that influence and just combining it with what I already knew. And, you know, just the fact that they're from Buffalo too is like kind of why I'm like, they make me feel proud to be from upstate New York. So I'm like, I'm gonna embody that in the sounds too. You know what I mean? So I started rapping over these type of beats again, and you know what I mean, getting back to the roots.
Yeah, and it's funny because like even just finding out that they were from Buffalo, and like, you know, just like knowing what I know about like New York, like the city New York, and then just like hearing how New Yorkers talk about upstate New York. I just never thought Buffalo would be what it was.
Yeah.
And like dudes like that would come out of Buffalo. And I was like, well, like, is Buffalo like popping like that? Like, you know? And so
Buffalo is like, to me, I'm always be like, oh, this is like Rochester, because I've lived in Rochester for like 22 years. So that's kind of all I know. So to me, when I go to Buffalo, it looks very similar to Rochester as far as scenery goes. And just like Rochester, like you can make a turn on the corner, you could be in the burbs. But when you in the hoods, like it's the hood. And because it's so small, when somebody gets shot or killed, you either know the person who got shot or you know who did it, or you know somebody who does know, or et cetera, et cetera. But it's really like one of those cities, like it get wild like every other East Coast or urban city, you know what I mean? It's just they only want to show you like the white people side of it, I guess, you know, on like media and stuff.
Yeah, because upstate New York definitely gets that reputation of that's where all like the rich white people live.
Yep, it's a lot of poor people there too.
And they drive to the city for work and shit, but like, you know, upstate is where like all the summer houses is, and the Hamptons, and you know. So
and
like
that's another disconnect too, is like, so it's upstate New York, but it's kind of Western New York. So in a sense, the Hamptons is like, you know, where the rich people are and stuff, but like more so like central Western New York, the Finger Lakes area, it's rich white people there and rich people in general, but it's a lot of violence. And Buffalo, I think, is like the is the murder capital of New York State, if I'm not like confused at the moment. But yeah,
really,
I think so. And I remember a few years ago Rochester actually was too. And so it's like New York City people like get killed and stuff, obviously, but I don't know how they mark up the data or whatever, but it get crazy over there too.
That's why I would have never known.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
Yes, I mean, and that's like that out here in California too. Like people assume like Compton, like South Central, is like the murder capital and shit out here, but it's like Stockton and like Modesto and Fresno. It's like those cities up towards Northern California. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought, because I would have just thought Compton was like, you know, because that's like the gang central right there.
Oh,
like,
sure, but like even now, a lot of parts of Compton are, you know, getting gentrified and shit, and you know,
word, yep.
Things are just changing in those areas. But like once you go towards up north, towards, you know, Silicon Valley and the Bay, it's, you know, it's rough because in middle California, it's all agriculture. That's where, you know, we get all our shit from. So like those, they don't change because, you know, why?
Yeah,
it's definitely rougher in those areas. I mean, it's rough in SoCal too in parts, but you know, like it's crazy how, like, you know, New York and Cali are similar in those instances, because
that's true.
I just never would have guessed Buffalo would have.
Yeah, right.
Crazy.
It doesn't even sound like it, honestly. Like Buffalo, I think about the Bills when I hear Buffalo. So.
Exactly, bro. Bills Mafia. You know, that's the only thing I know about Buffalo. You know, that's crazy. Being in SoCal, you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Not a lot of things to do out here, and you know, as an artist, you know, how have you been working on getting your name out and making sure people hear your music when there's no shows going on?
I do really like just digital. I try and do like just virtual networking, because I really haven't had a chance to meet people in person since I've gotten here, honestly. But because I've done like the virtual networking, it'll put me in a place where I can like actually be around people physically, like in a studio or something, or like about to do a photo shoot. And so that's how I've been doing it, just like hitting somebody up through DMs or email, or like people that I knew prior to coming to SoCal, I'll hit them up.
Okay.
And even some of my New York homies, they know people here too. So I just kind of like bounce it off like that. You know what I mean? Like virtual, you know, everything that virtual entails, and then trying to do some physical networking whenever I can.
Talk about the independent artist landscape in New York. You know, there are a lot of up and coming rappers who are huge but aren't like huge. You know, you got like your A Boogies, you know, Flatbush Zombies. Who else? Like Joey Badass and Pro Era, even some members of ASAP. Like, you know, talk about like how in New York, which has such a rich culture of hip hop, it's where hip hop was created. How was that, and how are up and coming artists hustling out there to kind of come up, and like how was that for you before you came out here?
So in like New York City, I've done shows there, and I met like some of the like the independent acts who don't really get too much notoriety. And like before the pandemic, it was like, you know, there'll be shows at like these little venue spots in New York City or whatever, and like your mans might, you know, invite you to come perform because he live in New York and you live in upstate, and so we'll go there, perform, network with his homies, and then try and make connections and find consumers based off that. In Rochester, it's similar. It's just like it's the same 5 venues every time you perform. It's the same crowd of people who come out. It's and so we kind of really have to rely on the internet heavily to get everything out there, because there's people in Rochester who like got 100,000 views off songs and stuff, but that 100,000 views primarily just came from Rochester. So it's like they name never really get out of the city how it's supposed to go, because they're not really using the resources. So it's a lot of that going on in the independent scene, where because I've seen that type of stuff, I try and stray away from just promoting to strictly Rochester people or people around my region. And I try and like shoot for the stars. Like even when I was in Rochester, I knew I was about to make this move. So I'm like, let me try and network with people like in the area I'm about to move to anyway. Let me network with people in Atlanta and, you know, Chicago. And then I even I did a 3-day road trip to get here. So I made a stop in Denver. So when I was in Denver, I would hit people up in Denver like, yo, what's up, bro? I'm here for like a day, da 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 da. So I rely heavily on the internet. And I know a lot of other independent acts out there like do the same, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
When you stopped in Denver, you met my man Ball. See, I get it. Full circle. I got you. I got you.
Yes, sir.
That's tight though. So you definitely seem like you're on your hustle, you're on your grind, you know, you're trying to just, you know, hit the ground running and, you know, and getting your name out there. And, you know, making this move is crazy. Making a move across the country is crazy, you know, especially if, you know, you're trying to make it as an artist, you know.
Yeah.
Were people looking at you crazy and like, yo, what are you doing? Like, what, like, why are you like why are you doing this without a real plan? Like, what was that conversation had?
I think like, so people ask me like, you know, what's the point of going here? Not like in a weird, rude way, but like, you know, what's your game plan? Or like, are you moving for music or are you just moving for a change of scenery? And I would always answer like, it's a little bit of both. Like, I know that like, if I come over here, like, it'll just give me different vibes, different inspiration, and different people to meet. And so a lot of people embraced it. They, you know, weren't like talking shit about it. They was just proud of me. Like, dang, I'm proud of you making this move. Cause like Rochester is a dead end city. So it's like, it's honestly sad because there's some people in Rochester who's never left Rochester and it's only about like 33 square feet. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah, right. And so it's crazy. It's like, so I think everybody was just glad to see somebody like trying to make it out of that city. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. I don't really think people were like off put about it.
That's good to have that support though, especially like in a small city.
Mm-hmm.
People are behind you, you know, they'll support you wherever you go and what you do. And like you talked about earlier, you know, you carrying yourself in a certain way. And it could have been different if you know, was, you know, acting wild in the streets and shit. And people would be like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck what he does, you know. But
yeah,
you know, you definitely have character, you know, within yourself, and you really wanted to make something out of this. So that's dope that people supported you. And I feel like a lot of rappers, you know, just don't see the bigger picture when they come out here. You feel me?
Yeah.
They don't see, you know, that they didn't really try to get the support in their hometown. So when they come out here and then, you know, it's hard to get love out here because you're from somewhere else first.
Yeah.
And like, you know, there's nothing to show for like where you came from. You know, rappers get frustrated and disappointed, so they try to take another route.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, it's a huge first step when you have support where you came from and people can see that and people fuck with you. Like, there's been plenty of rappers that have hit me up and be like, yo, like, you know, I'm from so and so, like, let me get an interview. And I'm just like, bro, like, I was like, look, I tell you,
it's just business. I get it.
Yeah,
you know, it's crazy because I honestly thought a lot of people here wouldn't really rock with me because I know, like, and this is probably just me having my New York like assumption mindset of like, I'm thinking I'm coming to Cali, like SoCal, like people are rapping on you know, these type of beats, like you know what I mean, like the Shoreline Mafia type of beats or whatever. Because a lot of the homies that I know from here, they do rap on those type of beats. So I'm like, damn, they really not gonna rock with this slow kind of boom bap New York shit. But a lot of people been embracing it, and it's been good. You know what I mean? I've been able to find people here too.
Well, the good thing about Orange County hip hop, and you came here at a very perfect time of it, is a lot of artists. Well, as a culture in Orange County, the sound is still trying to be found, right? Word. So a lot of artists are kind of throwing all these things and these ideas at the window and hoping it sticks. So you got your Shoreline Mafia type of dudes, you got your Lil Uzi type of dudes, you know, you got people that are just strictly to the bars, you know, and then, you know, you got yourself. So like there's so many different lanes out here that people are trying to fit in. And, you know, but so many people are trying to fit themselves into one lane, it's going to get congested, right? You know, so many people driving one freeway, there's going to be traffic.
Yeah,
So,
right.
I mean, if you stick to your lane and if you're good at it, people are gonna fuck with you because it's a different sound. When people are, so in on listening to one thing so constantly from all these different artists, as soon as someone new comes around and they got something different, people are gonna gravitate towards it. And
Facts.
if it's good, it's even better. They'll tell somebody like, "Yo, check out this artist. He's new. This sound is dope. It's different. I've never heard it before. Like we've heard it before, but we've never heard it on our scale of things, So, it's a perfect opportunity to create a new lane with a new sound. And I think that'll be like your gateway to success out here because
Thank you.
nobody else is doing it like
Word.
that. And doing these visuals like that. Like a lot of people are doing visuals, but they're doing visuals just for the sake of putting a fucking video out with no substance or it doesn't even make sense to the theme of the song.
Yeah.
That's just my nitpicky journalistic take.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
But
Yes, sir.
I definitely see where you're coming from. I see your wave. I fuck with your music. It's dope stuff. And it's even cooler just finding out that you're from New York because it's a totally different. Because when you told me originally you were from Brea, I was like, they got niggas out there in Brea like that? Like, dang. Like, I've probably been to Brea maybe 4 or 5 times.
True.
Bro, I've been to Brea like a scarce amount of times ever in my life. And I've lived in Orange County my whole life. And probably been to Brea only to go to the mall or to the
I feel you.
Or to the
I walk outside, I go to Ralph's or whatever. I just be looking for black people. I'm like, if I just see one today, my whole day is made. And it's really always just me and my roommate. And like, that's really it. But it's like a little bit, you know what I mean? Scattered around.
Yeah, you gotta, well, especially in like the area you're in. So you're close to Cal State Fullerton, so you'll see them,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially around these times.
Yeah,
you're gonna need some black people around you. You feel me? Like
that's a fact. Yeah. I was outside 2 days ago when they was rioting downtown LA or whatever, and I'm just like looking, I'm like, dang, bro, I'm surrounded by nothing but white people. I don't know, man.
It'd be like that, bro. Yeah, like during the summer when they was riding in Huntington Beach, bro. I was like, yeah, no, I'm cool on the beach. Like, I'm chilling. Yeah, it'd be like that. It's real. But my man Bahari, it's good talking to you, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, bro. For real,
bro. Of course, bro. Look, it's good to have new faces on here.
Word.
Radio is all about promoting new artists. Fresh artists, fresh music all the time. So thank you for hitting us up.
Of course, man.
I'm sorry it takes me 10 business days to open a fucking email, but
it's all good.
Give everyone your socials, where they can hear your music.
Okay. All right. So y'all can follow me on Instagram at baharis.archive, BAHIRIS.ARCHIVE. And then on Instagram, it's just at Bahari's Archive. Like, spell it the same way, but it's no period in the middle. From there, you can find all my links to my music, to my website, and my merchandise. So check me out.
Support my mans. He's got dope music. Check out his latest visual, Bol. Shout out to Bol. I drafted him on fantasy basketball team for some weird reason. So, I mean, I hope this nigga starts playing soon because people are getting hurt. So, but hey, it was good talking to you. Once we get back in the studio, we're gonna have you in. We're gonna have you spit some bars and shit.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have you do all of it. It's gonna be dope. I got a bunch of Griselda type beats in my Serato, so don't even worry about it.
Okay, I hear you. Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. But thanks for coming on. We'll be right back right here on the morning routine on Tru1Hundred Radio. So keep it locked. Bang. And I will stop recording.